Sai Ram students, welcome to another literature class, and in today's class we'll be learning a new poem, and the name of the poem is The Ball Poem, written by John Berryman. John Berryman was an American poet and scholar, and he is best known for the Dream Songs, which is a sequence of 385 poems. And he's also a recipient of Pulitzer Prize for his Dream Songs. He has also won National Book Award. Now this poem, the Ball Poem, through this the poet wants to convey, or he has described, the reality of life which everyone has to face one day or other. He has touched the topic of how to stand up against the miseries and sorrows of life. Now, he describes the grief of a boy over the loss of his ball. With that loss, he senses his first responsibility in a materialistic world, where those whom you love and your worldly possessions will not be with you forever. This poem is about losing something which we love and then learning to grow up. It's about a little boy who, in his young life, for the first time is learning what it is like to experience grief after the loss of a much beloved possession, which in this poem is a ball. So let's get started, students, and I hope a book and a pen is kept handy to jot down the important words and the important points. A ball poem. In this poem, a boy loses a ball and he is very upset. The ball doesn't cost much, nor it is difficult to buy another ball. So why is the boy upset? Let's read the poem and see what the poet thinks has been lost and what the boy has to learn from the experience of losing something. A ball poem. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go, merrily bouncing down the street, and then merrily over, there it is in the water. So here this is giving us a very clear picture that the poet can see a small boy who is playing with a ball. Now what does he say? What is the boy now who has lost his ball? So it's very clear that the small boy has lost his ball. What is he to do? So now what will the boy do? The ball is already gone. He was playing with it, but now it's not there with him anymore. I saw it go. The poet, he maybe is standing at a very close distance where he can see this boy who was playing with the ball, and now this ball has gone down the street into the water. So how did the ball go? Merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over, there it is in the water. Okay, so the boy was playing. All of a sudden what has happened? The ball went down the street and now it is in water. Maybe there is a water body nearby and the ball has landed up in the water body. So the poet is questioning, what will the boy do now? Clear? Let's see the meaning. Merrily is cheerful and bouncing is jumping up and down. When we bounce a ball, it goes up and down. Yes, so that is how the ball went down the street into the water. Let's just read what the first stanza has to say. The poet is talking about a boy who has lost his ball. He wants to know about him and his reaction because he has lost the ball. Further, he asks to himself that what this boy will do after losing his ball. And the poet has seen the ball going away from the boy. He says that the ball was cheerfully jumping up and down the street, which means that when the ball skipped from the boy's hand, it went into the street and later on into the nearby river. So this was just an explanation of the first stanza. Let's proceed. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. As he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. Now, the poet says, it's of no use telling him that there are other balls. Okay, the boy may be having other balls as well, but it's pointless telling him that it's okay if one ball is lost, you have another balls. So he says it's of no use. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. The boy is very sad. Grief over here means sorrow. So the boy is very sad. As he stands rigid, rigid is he's fixed, he's shocked, he's looking, oh, what's happening to my ball? It has gone deep inside the water body. So as he stands rigid, trembling is shivering, shaking, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. Now he says he is staring at the ball. Why? Because with that ball, he can see his young days. See, he has some memories attached to that ball. Okay, maybe that ball was very close to his heart. Okay, so when the ball was going into the water, he could see all his memories also going into the water. Okay, so staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. Harbor is a port. So his ball has landed into the water, and along with the ball, his memories also have gone. Clear? Let's see the explanation part. The poet says that there is no benefit of consoling the boy by saying that he will get another ball because he has other balls too. Yes, the emotions attached with the boy. Okay, the boy is very close to the ball. Maybe it's gifted by his mom, his dad. He's having a lot of memories with that ball. Okay, so he says so because the boy is feeling very sad. He is completely surrounded by sorrow. He's feeling bad that the ball is not with him anymore. He is sad because all his memories of childhood days went down the harbor with the ball. I hope, students, that the second stanza is also clear. Now, here the poet says that the boy is very sad as the ball, which has now gone into the water, reminds him of the sweet memories of the times when he owned it. Like I told you before also, students, when the ball was with him, he has played with the ball. There were many memories attached to that ball. Okay, so he is now thinking of all the good times that he spent playing with that ball. The loss is unbearable for him and he is grief stricken. The poet says that he can't even tell the boy to take some money from him in order to buy another ball. So the poet says it's of no use consoling him also. Okay, there is no point. I can tell him there are other balls in the market. You also may be having few more balls at home. It's okay if one ball has gone. But he says no, there are some memories attached to that ball, okay, which have gone into the water with the ball. So the boy is very sad. Let's proceed. I would not intrude on him. A dime another ball is worthless. Now he senses first responsibility in a world of possessions. People will take balls. Balls will be lost. Always, little boy. So here the poet is trying to convey something. Let us see what. So he says, I would not intrude on him. Intrude here is invade. I will not disturb the boy. He is sad. Okay, so I will not go and tell him anything because maybe he may be unwanted. The boy may not like the poet interfering. So he says, I would not intrude on him. A dime. Dime is 10 cents. A dime another ball. He can buy another ball which is just say 10 cents, which is very cheap, but it's worthless. There's no point. Why? Because with the new ball he cannot create the same memories that he had with the ball that has gone into the water. So he says a dime another ball is worthless. A ball is very cheap. He can buy a new ball, but not the memories which are attached to that ball. Now he senses his first responsibility in the world of possessions. So now he is realizing. Now the little boy is realizing something. What is that? That is his first responsibility. He should have been very careful while playing. Okay, so he senses his first responsibility in a world of possessions. And what is that? People will take balls. Balls will be lost. Okay, you may misplace balls. People may take them away. Okay, so now you have to understand all these things, little boy. So now he is realizing, now he is sensing his first responsibility. So what's worthless? Worthless is useless. Possession is ownership. In this world of possession is ownership. Clear? He says so. Now he says that I can give him money, or he himself may be having some money. He can buy a new ball, but it's worthless. And why does he say so? Because the new ball will not bring the sense of belonging to the boy. Further, the poet says that time has come for the boy to learn the responsibility of taking care of his things. I told you. What does he say? Over here, he senses his first responsibility. Okay, that in the world of possession, he is supposed to take care of his things. Here the poet says that the boy has to learn that in this materialistic world of many of his belongings will be lost. Today is just a ball. Tomorrow may be something else. Okay, few days down the line, maybe he'll misplace something else, he'll lose something else. So he has to learn that in this materialistic world, many of his belongings will be lost. He personifies the ball as his belongings, be it in the worldly things or the relationship he is in possession of. So your ball is just an example. He says today it's a ball, tomorrow it may be a person whom you love very much, maybe someone very close to your heart. You may lose him or her. You have to learn to move on in life. Okay, so he says that he has to learn to live without them no matter what. Okay, we just cannot stick to one person. Yes, we have fond memories with that person, but if the person is gone, it's very easy to say that if the person is gone, we have to learn to live without that person. It's a difficult thing, yes, I understand, but that is what is life. Life is all about moving ahead. So we should, here the poet tries to make us understand through a ball that today it's just a ball, children. Okay, tomorrow it can be something bigger than the ball. Okay, so he is trying to teach us that we have to learn how to take care of our things. Clear? And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes the epistemology of loss, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days how to stand up. Okay, so your desperate means hopeless. Okay, money is external. Money can buy us a new ball, but can money buy us a new relationship? Not possible. Okay, so and no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He is learning this. Okay, through a ball, he is learning to value all his relationships. Okay, he is learning well behind his desperate eyes the epistemology of loss. What is epistemology? It's the Greek word, it's come from the Greek word epistem, which means knowledge. So he is now gaining knowledge of loss. What have I lost? A ball. Okay, so how am I going to cope up with this loss? All these things he is learning. He's learning how to stand up. Stand up is, he's learning how to live without that particular ball. Knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days how to stand up. See, every person has to learn how to cope up with his or her loss. Okay, many of them know. Why? Because that's what is destiny, students. If something is gone, it's gone forever. We should know how to stand up. We should know how to bear this particular loss. Now over here he says that no one can buy back such things for him. The poet says so because according to him, money can't buy you everything. I just told you that it's, if I want, I can buy that ball. But can I buy the memories? Today it's just a ball. Tomorrow may be a person very close to me. Can I buy him? Him or her for that matter? It's not possible. Okay? So the poet said so because according to him, money can't buy us everything. If it does buy you some materialistic thing, still it will not be able to buy the sense of belongingness. Yes, you cannot buy with money the sense of belongingness. Clear? He says that the boy is now learning how to stand up against a sense of lost things. The boy is now learning how to cope up, how to come out of that grief and lead your life normally. This means that the boy is trying to learn the real truth of life, which states that you have to accept the miseries of life and stand up again. Yes. Okay. So today something is there, tomorrow it may not be there. Okay. That's the truth of life, children. We have to learn to accept the miseries of our life and bounce back and stand up again. This is the truth which everyone has to learn in his or her life. The truth is harsh, yes, it's very harsh, of standing up against the odd miseries of life that everyone has to bear. Okay, this is a very harsh truth. But yes, that's the fact, children. So what have we learned in this poem? Basically, through the poem, the poet is trying to make us understand the sense of belongingness. We have to take care of our things. Okay? The boy has lost his ball. He can buy a new ball, but he cannot buy the memories that he has with the ball. So the poet is trying to tell us that, that's the truth of life. We have to learn to live with the miseries and we have to learn to overcome them as well. We have to learn to stand up. Okay. So I hope, students, this poem is clear to all of you. Next we'll move on to the literary devices, but not today. That's in the next class. Till we meet next, students, you will take care of yourselves. Sai Ram and bye-bye.